They say podcasts are going to replace books. I don't know about that, but I do think TRS Clips will assist your learning process.
Navratri again, is the cognizance of that nurturing aspect of nature. So here, the goddess is known as Prakriti. And we spoke about Purush and Prakriti, but Prakriti, Mother Nature, again, it's a universal concept. Why is nature considered mother? Because it is nurturing, right? And Mother Nature or Prakriti is responsible for maintaining the balance. And you see Navaratri coming at a time when there's a change of seasons. And a lot of people, again, would not be aware that Navaratri does not come just once in a year. It comes 4 times. So 4 times, and if you observe what are the timings, the first Navaratri is Chaitra Navaratri. That is right at the beginning of the year, of the Hindu year, in the Indian calendar. So in Maharashtra, we have Gudi Padwa, so that is the first day of Chaitra Navaratri actually. And the 9th day ends with Ram Navami. So the first Navaratri, and that's the change of seasons, it's spring. And most traditional calendars actually, interestingly, they began with spring. It doesn't make any sense to have a new year in the middle of winter. Right? So all the ancient calendars actually began with spring because spring was renewal, right? So the Chaitra month, which is the first month in Indian calendar, it starts with Navratri. And then you have Navratri, which comes in Ashad, month of Ashad, which was before monsoons, just before monsoons. Then you have the Sharad Navratri, which is this one, which comes in October, November, close to autumn. And then you have the Magh Navratri, which is in winters. So every time you observe the 9 days, they correspond with the change of season. And the Devi Bhagavad Puran actually gives it significance. It tells us that, during this time, people are more susceptible to getting sick. There's a change happening around them. And we see that happening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right now also the weather is so whimsical. A lot of people are falling sick because of changes in weather, sudden changes in weather.
I'm asking the doctor in you this because you're a qualified doctor. What's the actual biology behind that?
So it's just, the sudden changes of temperature. Sometimes you feel it's hot and, you're switching on the AC and you're sitting in the air conditioner. And then the moment you step out, it's actually cold. And so the changes in temperature and what Navratri actually correlates with is, the fasting. The fasting makes you aware of what you're doing, what you're putting inside your body. And this time of transition has to be tread very carefully. So the Devi Bhagavad Puran, it actually mentions, it talks about the time. It was probably written in a time when there were a lot of people falling sick, during this duration. And so it advises you to propitiate, to pray to Goddess Prakriti, to be merciful.
Which is again divine feminine.
Divine feminine.
Okay.
Divine
Without
feminine.
saying Durga Ma or Saraswati Ma, it's all of them together.
Yes. It mentions Prakriti.
Okay.
Devi as Prakriti. So it's nature. It's Mother Nature. So it has a very, logical reason of celebration. When you're fasting or you're observing a certain ritual, you're more mindful of what you're doing or what you are putting inside. And, you are, probably taking care of your body much more.
Yeah. Also, it's like the whole logic of intermittent fasting where your body just heals faster when you're fasting.
Yes.
And you probably need healing because as a human being, you will kind of fall sick in this change of season.
Right.
So to deal with that sickness, recover fast.
And building your immunity, right? Instead of having food that you every day have, which may not be very nutritious, you're advised to have fruits. You advise people eat all sorts of stuff, but ideally, you should have fruits which provide you vitamins. You're allowed milk which provides you protein. So calcium. So these are things that are light on your tummy, and they also help build your immunity. So that is the logical reason for Navaratri, occurring at this particular time.
I'm also 110% sure, and this is because I've been getting a little bit into astronomy lately. There has to be some celestial angle to this, some alignment of planets or the moon, and I'm definitely not sure what it is.
Right.
But I know for a fact that when you fast and then sit for your meditations, the meditations are way deeper. It's just much more conducive for meditation.
Definitely.
Grain actually affects both prayer and meditation. Like in eating rice, eating wheat, eating millets, comes in the way. But if you're on an empty stomach, you just slip into your meditation very easily.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm sure there has to be some angle like that as well.
I'm sure. Anyways, because it's all calculated according to tithis, according to the calendar.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out the entire episode and also check out this playlist that we've curated just for you.